Hi guys, welcome to Mindless Jabba. I have a hangover. My name's Banana Bread.
I'm my own sense of justice.
I am the inability to ice cakes.
And I'm the world's most expensive Dorito. What have we got today?
Well, you have Tom has the first topic that we're going to talk about, and we have 10 minutes starting. Go.
Right, so, if you were a king, right, what would be your first decree? Because I was thinking kings are so much better, or queens.
Oh, I was going to say I was going to say
so
my
much
first.
better than presidents.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you could have a better, like, a happier kingdom than a democracy.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone's going to be unhappy.
I mean, they say absolute power corrupts, absolutely, but what about Nelson Mandela, huh? What about Nelson Mandela?
I don't think he was absolutely powerful, though.
Oh, he's pretty powerful.
Did he have the laser eyes?
He was the president.
He was the president. He wasn't the king, though.
Well, actually, he wasn't.
You think he would have?
He wasn't a
corrupted
president.
himself?
He was a precedent. They were like, well, now we can just throw black people in jail for being near cocaine.
Oh.
and then we had the Civil War. No, the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah.
Oh, the two I know.
The words and stuff.
There was a lot
I'm
of
just
unfortunate stuff that
Constantly
was
thinking
done.
about
to
like
that
how I'm
man.
going to design my penis
Because
because I'm now
racism.
king.
Oh, right. Well, that could be your first decree.
Yeah. Design of penises. Well, I'm going to be a king, so I need a penis.
That's not
Oh,
true.
So
right.
I'm like
We
designing penises.
changing it. It's an absolute monarch. You are
yeah.
the absolute
Yeah,
monarch.
yeah, but that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, Victoria, Elizabeth, then Elizabeth again.
Yeah.
They were absolute monarchs.
Yeah.
So what would your decree be?
That is a good question. I would get rid of the cupcake nonsense. So I don't believe that American muffins should be called American muffins. I believe that they're cupcakes because they're cake. The end. That's it. They're cake.
What-
Even savoury ones are still cakey.
Yeah, but
Like, they're not
cupcakes
breads.
and muffins.
I had a
No.
banana cake once. No, sorry. I had a banana cake. That sounded like...
You are a banana cake.
I had a bacon cake once.
Mm.
It was amazing.
The difference between cupcakes and muffins is size. Like a standard muffin has to be a particular standard size to be called a muffin.
So if I made a really big cupcake, I can't. There's a maximum size.
So
I can make.
wait, when you say you
Yes.
get rid of the nonsense between them, like, is one of the words disappearing, or are the forms merging, and do you accidentally end up calling something an English cupcake?
all
and then
things are
putting it-
cupcakes.
So you
So
put
it would be-
you put an English cupcake.
I am
in
the
the toaster,
king. Off with your head.
And
All
then
things are cupcakes.
and then you put cheese and a little bit of sausage on your English cupcake when it comes out of the toaster.
All things are cupcakes.
All things are cupcakes.
'Cause you don't-
Oh, sorry. When it
you
comes
put
out of
your
the cupcake,
cupcake-
you put a little bit of cupcake and a
So
slice of
it could
cupcake
be,
on your cupcake. Your English cupcake, sorry.
Exactly. My cupcake.
You could have your extra large cupcakes, and then your
Yeah.
flat cupcakes, and
Yeah.
your toaster cupcakes. And
Yeah.
Flat cupcakes,
Like
you call them
chips
flatties.
and chips. And chips that you have with
No.
sauce
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
packets of chips.
It works for Australia, so it must work for everywhere else.
Yeah. Well, I remember...
Also, there's another thing. Crisps.
Crisps. Why don't we use that word here?
Crisps are great.
I remember when I moved here and having that same sort of, like, difficulty understanding how people told those words apart. Like in that episode of South Park when everyone uses the word marklar for every noun.
Marklar, yeah.
And it's just like...
Isn't that confusing?
How do you know which one of those two distinct products is being referred to when you say this thing? People just magically know.
Generally, when you say chips, like, you think...
No, the answer is
crisps.
magic. Just the answer is magic.
Otherwise, hot chips and...
Yeah, if you're like, I'm gonna go down the road to the fish and chip shop. You're not like, I'm gonna go down to the road to the fish and
yeah,
crisp.
but
My problem is the
like-
transitive nature of it. Is that you have chips, right?
Or a packet of chips.
Right? You have your chips, and then those chips are hot chips.
But
But then
what
once
about-
they stop being hot, they don't become crisps. They're still chips for some reason.
Yeah, they're still hot
Even
chips.
though no,
but,
they're
like-
not.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not hot chips.
They're still hot
They're
chips.
cold chips.
No.
Okay, so your first decree is ruler.
Yeah.
My first degree is a whole rewrite
It's
of the
just,
language.
yeah, just to get rid of any word that is another word as well.
We're just instigating proper English.
You're gonna confuse the fuck out of everyone.
That's because they can all learn how to speak properly.
So what's
My
your,
kingdom will be motherfucking
I've
on
got
fleek.
one.
Well, it's Maddie's turn.
Okay,
We've got to have some damn order in this place.
All right,
Exactly
what
what I'm
would
thinking
be
of
the first thing that I do? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably-
I'm glad we're sticking to this damn order.
Yeah, I would have liked to go this way. I was ready for that.
Yeah. I was hoping on that. I needed
All
more
right,
time.
we'll come back to you.
Yeah,
We'll come back to
I need
you.
more
Tis.
time.
All right. In the legal system, there is a great push to, like,
There are two separate yet equally important groups.
Some other lawyers who know how to use the
law.
Latin terms in law, which cannot be mistaken for English terms in law.
Right.
And then there are people who are like, nah, man, we should just use English words. I'm sure English words can perfectly cover it. And the thing is that you've got all these like Latin terms for precedents, not Latin words meaning things. And so when you translate it into English, it doesn't actually mean the same thing, and you end up with this difficulty understanding it. Suddenly you've got something that was
king is to put T.S. in jail.
so you've got these things that are clear to people who've studied law because they needed to learn these concepts,
Hello, all three of you.
being disguised as simply understandable things when they shouldn't be. You shouldn't be trying to convince people that they understand something when they don't.
It's the point.
So
What's the
I want
point?
to bring back the Latin in law.
Okay.
I feel bad now. I changed language
Like-
and I felt I was
like-
being reasonable.
We still
But now
use.
this is-
No.
We
Like
still
I'm not
use
saying
Latin
go
law.
back 100 years and go back to where it was then. This is being phased out as we speak, and it only really started a few years ago.
Okay.
And
It's
it is
still-
a good
Stop
thing,
it
and it
now.
makes people think they understand things that they don't
They still
by
use
using
actus
English
reus
words.
and mens rea.
The
And I don't think they're
but
going
the
to
lands
but
of
they're trying to
Thomas
get rid of
it.
Stovia
All that sort of stuff they're trying to get rid
don't
of.
accept the sovereignty of your nation.
Sorry?
A la Destan.
So I reckon what I would do, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier. My first decree as king is total 100% transparency for all corporate entities,
I like it.
which means wages, trade secrets. If you have a company and anyone wants to know anything about that company, all they have to do is ask.
Tom and I have discussed this actually. It would make wage transparency, one of the things you mentioned,
Right.
is something that we had pointed out would be a really easy way to like greatly diminish the perceived gender wage gap.
destroy sexism
Yeah, well, I
in our
mean,
lifetime.
we were talking about that on the very
In the
first
wage.
episode.
Yeah, because like
Ooh.
if you can just say, well, you don't need me to show you what my wages are. You can check them yourself without needing to risk me like lying to you. Then you can also believe what you see.
Yeah.
I agree with the most of it except for the trade secret. Like say like you have the Coca-Cola recipe. Like
Yeah.
that shouldn't be public.
No, it totally should be public.
I don't know.
Public,
If you-
but because
the
if
only
somebody else
reason-
wants to make it, they need to admit they're using the same recipe,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's when you get them for copyright.
True, I suppose. Like,
Oh,
do
wait,
the
because-
copyright still like
Yeah.
hold as well? Like,
Yes, of course.
yeah.
Well,
If you
we
invent
were
a
talking
thing,
about this before. We were talking about abolishing patenting and copyright law.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like
Yeah.
any sort of protectorate on business rights and claims.
I think that secrets, regardless of what they are a hindrance to the progress of society. And like, especially with something like McDonald's or Coca-Cola, you've got these massive corporate entities controlling, so much wealth. And if everyone can make Coca-Cola, or I mean, you're never going to make your own Coca-Cola because you'd have to buy shitloads of ingredients.
You wouldn't be able to. You
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
have
able to compete.
access.
here's
to,
some
yeah.
homemade Pepsi you can take to the dance. It's a little thick, but the price is right.
Here's I see an in between here. Is I think that if we just kept away from trade secrets, copyright law, all of it stays intact, but we don't keep on pushing things forward as cultural milestones. Like Disney continuing going, no, we own Ariel, the Princess Ariel, forever and ever and ever, right? That everything gets dissolved once the leader of whoever has that passes on. Like, so you can't move that on.
So
Like,
once we thaw out Walt Disney's head,
yes.
and we're certain he's down for the count. Well, with having no body.
Why are you de-thawing? Why don't you just hammer through the chest? Vampire style.
Chest is gone. They've only frozen the head.
That doesn't
We'll
help
hammer
us.
through the head.
So,
Well, fine.
imagine-
Yeah, just don't try and put it through his chest because that's been buried decades ago.
Like what Tom was saying, imagine if
Same crypt as Hitler, funnily enough.
if there was no inheritance, if as soon as anyone died, all of their assets, liquid or solid, are dissolved.
What about gaseous ones? I just did that because I knew Tom was waiting for it.
Yeah.
Tom was asking for it. All right.
Vaporous.
I was asking for
Wouldn't
it.
that be cool?
And also, I refuse to accept your sovereignty.
Alright.
Yeah, I think that would be weird.
Cool. Well, we've got
Wait.
40 seconds for Maddie, so go.
I'm taking more than 40 seconds, motherfuckers.
Hurry up.
Well, I would make I'd change some of the high school what do you call it, curriculums. I'd make it compulsory for them to do like a basics leaving home food course, so that they know how to make at least 7 basic meals that are cheap, under $10, like a uni survival.
You've got your home cooking class,
Yeah.
your how to do your taxes class,
Yes.
your how to change your tire class.
How to do paperwork in
tax,
general.
yeah, taxes and
Rent.
like taxes, rent, like owning your renting your first house, and like how to do
Time's
food.
up. Next time.
Motherfuckers.
You all have real boring ones. The land of now Cupcakeistan, as our cupcake overrulers have taken control,
Well,
refuses
at least
to accept
my-
the sovereignty of all of your countries.
At least my people will know how to fend for themselves.
And my people won't think they understand the law when they actually don't.
I
No,
think.
they just won't understand the law.
Yeah.
You have this dystopic society. Maddie's at least got people who are like blue collar, but they're hardworking. We are going to take over your country and make you work as our slaves.
No, you're not.
Cupcake slaves.
No, you're not, because we'll know like at least some forms of law because of tax.
We'll cupcake your
And
cupcakes though.
Funny
We'll know
final
how to
note.
make your cupcakes and make them better.
I know there are some people out there that agree with me, because a couple of years ago there was an instance of a New South Wales judge asking 2 of the lawyers in a court case to refrain from using the Latin, and they therefore immediately went outside and made a bet of who could use the most Latin terms throughout the rest of the court case.
How many times did they say cupcake?
60,000.
So I think the next topic for me is going to be what we were just talking about, and that is
Cupcakes.
What ifs?
if society, like if your assets were dissolved when you died. So the only legacy that you're passing on to your kids is just
Like in a bar.
what you teach them.
I don't agree with that, like because like you
Wait,
get a lot
tiny
of
donkeys dissolve in
no,
baths?
you don't have
Wait,
to
wait.
agree with it, but can you imagine it? Like,
Yeah,
how do you
that's
think that
shit.
would? You reckon?
like for like some people, like because some people they strive to like make something for their children. If they say
Yeah,
like
but
wait
that whole
like
mindset would have to change.
yeah, but like okay, you are
You make the best children you can, not
Oh no!
yeah, but like you have 2 kids, say, and you're a young parent, and you're doing everything you can. You've put away a bit of money for their college fund because they're still quite young and you're quite young, and then you get in a car accident.
Yeah.
Your kids don't get the college, don't get to go to college.
No,
because,
actually, that would not be covered under if you put it in a trust fund for
Yeah.
them. We'd still
Yeah.
get to go to them because it is their trust fund.
It is, yeah, it's
and
their
here's
assets.
the thing: here's what would happen, right? And it's kind of really sad because in my mind, I'm seeing
Everyone would
exactly.
trust fund everything.
Well, no, not just trust funding things. What you do is you just get to a certain age and just start liquidating things, and you just make sure your children have as much as you can give them because. All your stuff isn't going to stick around when you die. So you have 2 camps. One, people not giving anyone anything and being like, fuck you, we hate you children. Right? And then the other camp, which would be like, we're just going to give you everything while we're still alive. And I don't think enough would change. I think more interestingly, where that falls under corporate law and like the secession of copyright things. This is a really boring conversation. Can we talk more about cupcakes? I think that's the serious thing on the matter here. I still haven't heard
By the way,
from Dillonville about where they stand on the cupcake problem.
my app soon going to be going into the Apple App Store, so
Really?
you'll be able to just press a button and magically get cupcakes soon.
Oh.
It is a limited.
He's forcing me to link to his own YouTube video.
It is very, very limited in the fact that you actually have to pay. I think there's a pay model in it. That after the first cupcake, you have to pay for every future cupcake or wait like half an hour.
Do you think that they would have like one of those loyalty cards? So you buy 10 cupcakes and you get one free?
No. What it is it's like you can pay $1 and that gives you 90 cupcakes for whenever you want them, or you can pay $100 and that just gives you unlimited cupcakes forever. And it's just a little separate screen on the cupcake app. I've
It
seen
just
it.
reminds me of every app in every store, like on the Apple Store. As like,
Yeah.
you're playing a dice rolling game. You could get extra dice for $2.
Yeah, forward. You just like I don't even know.
I wonder if you if you had a cupcake app, would you be able to customize the cupcakes, or do they just randomly come? Like, would you get an oatmeal bran muffin instead of a cupcake?
Well, I got a spinach, broccoli, and bacon one a few days ago that I thought was pretty good.
That baking cake I was talking about?
That'd be
that
so
was
disappointing.
Cornbread, which by the way is cake. cornbread is cake.
In the
Cornbread
way
is
that
bread.
gluten-free, in the same way that gluten-free bread is cake.
Yeah. Anyway, it was cornbread.
And McDonald's burgers are confectionery.
And then cheese and barbecue sauce and bacon, and there was bacon also baked
Isn't
That
into,
sounds more like a
lasagna?
sandwich.
into the cornbread.
Okay.
And well, it was cut into a cake shape.
Hey.
And then the next
It's
layout
just a
was-
sandwich that was in a teleporter accident.
Yeah. Wait. I'm confused here. Wouldn't then sponge cake, which
Yeah.
is sponge, jam, cream, sponge, sometimes icing.
Yep.
So you're saying that's a sweet
Isn't
sandwich?
that a sandwich?
Only if the sponge is technically bread.
Yeah, because you'd have to have.
Gluten-free
Because-
sponge cake.
It's not a sandwich if the top isn't bread.
The bottom has to be bread as well.
Like,
They have
like
to be
open-faced
Well, no.
sandwiches aren't sandwiches; they're just shit on bread.
They just shit on the
And that's why Norwegian has no word for sandwich.
Go
Are you fucking
Norway.
with me?
I'm not kidding you. Because the closest there is for a word for sandwich in Norwegian is
Stuff on bread.
is essentially topping. Because Norwegians predominantly eat open-faced sandwiches. So you would get a sandwich and then you'd put some cheese and lettuce and tomato
I miss.
and air. And then you would eat it.
Yeah.
Norway sounds like a terrible place.
You know,
Choice, choice.
I was
Sandwiches
actually
are
thinking about
important
it.
to me.
I
I
think
need
it's
the bread.
actually
Yeah.
no, you need the bread, but the bread doesn't need to be all the way around it. And I was thinking maybe this
It
is
does.
because
That
Norway
makes
is a
it-
land of plenty.
That's
Wait,
a hand.
wait. What do you mean
It's
all
not
the
a
way
hand
around
food.
it?
If a sandwich
Like,
is
it's
supposed to
only
be
one
at
on
bottom
top and one on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's to stop your fingers getting greasy from touching the ham meats.
Yeah, but you can
Sweet meats.
He's right. He's right. A sandwich is supposed to be eaten with your hands, not a knife and fork.
Yeah, but you can just hold it from underneath and put it in your mouth.
Like heathens.
That would be horrible. If you turn your hand slightly to one side, you would lose all the toppings, and the
How
whole
do
thing
you-
would be awful.
How do you eat pizza?
It's held together by cheese, melted cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Norway-
and
These
it's
sandwiches
has
are held
cold-
together with gravity.
Cold, heavy.
and pizza slices aren't square and small,
Yeah.
so you can fit lots of toppings into.
What
What
a
about
sandwich.
crackers?
Good
How do you eat
sandwiches
crackers?
are-
Hey, no, come on, let's leave racial
You don't
slurs
pour-
out of this.
You don't like make the way you make a sandwich is different to the way you make a cracker.
And a sandwich. I mean,
Yeah, a cracker. You need a mummy cracker and a daddy cracker who love each other very much.
Yeah, no.
I ain't putting up with this Humpty Bumpty shit on my podcast.
Open-faced sandwiches should not be a thing.
Oh, I
Leave
think
it in
they're
the comments if
delicious.
you think open.
Well, that's the thing.
Wait,
Bread
you
is
know what,
delicious, but I
Clubs.
would posit yes, yeah.
Club sandwiches, bullshit.
But
It's
club-
Yeah.
stupid.
Why do you need that
You
extra
don't
bit
need
of
the
bread?
extra bread.
in the immortal words of Mitch Hedberg, I like my sandwiches with 3 pieces of bread. So do I. Let's form a club. God rest his zombie bones.
I hope he's dead.
He died in 2006. I hope you feel nice.
I feel better now. If we didn't, the major religion of Cupcakeistan would have committed a fatwa on him.
What?
No,
Fatwa.
but like I was thinking about it. I
crimes.
think that the idea
Islam.
of sandwiches having a top layer is
Yeah.
is kind of like you're just rationing your sandwich fillings to say that actually like bread, which is the most filling ingredient,
Yeah.
it really needs a 2-to-1 on.
I
Like,
don't know,
for every set of toppings, I really do need to be using.
This is going on
using
for
2
too
pieces
long.
of
We need
bread.
to end this
My
conversation.
What about
sandwiches are like
burgers,
this
then?
big though.
Burgers,
Well, burgers are different.
Burgers are amazing.
I hate how much bread there is in a burger. Almost invariably, there is too much
You
bread.
know
in
why?
burgers.
You know
I
why?
like
Because you're
that much
using the
bread.
wrong bread.
Yeah,
Brioche bun,
yeah.
never too much bread.
Brioche bun, great, but the amount of times they're not is always sesame seed fucking
Yeah,
buns.
exactly. And they're always too dense, and they ruin the taste of the burger. Fucking learn.
And then when
motherfuckers.
KFC removes the bun, everyone makes fun of them for being super unhealthy. It's like, oh yeah, 2 patties and a piece of bacon. That's the most unhealthy thing I've ever seen. And then the next day they get rid of the double, but you can still get a double zinger burger with a slice
With
of
the
bacon in the
bread.
middle. And it's just the same thing but with bread. And people are like, oh well, at least it's back to being regular KFC. And all you did was not have 600 calories of carbs.
What happened to Aladstan that makes KFC and McDonald's the same place?
Huh?
Oh,
You were like
my
McDonald's. They got rid of the thing. And so now you can't get a zinger burger there. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
God. Oh, I don't know what's
McDonald's.
going on.
It's KFC, and then you're like,
Dylan just doesn't want to talk about sandwiches anymore.
I think
he's
that
too
we should
hungry.
talk about
Was
what
your
would
high school-
happen
was your-
if Melbourne. No, yeah, okay, say Melbourne
What
because
is?
that's all.
I'm liking our what
that's
is.
all. That's all we know
yeah.
in our short space of this world.
I know Cupcakeistan.
I
You're
know
not there.
lots of Australia.
You're not there.
Okay.
You're not there. So
I'm
say
so
Melbourne got nuked or something.
Oh.
Something happened. Say there's a massive earthquake. Took out power. Took out water. Took out
Dylan knows my plans.
everything. Everything
Yeah.
broken. Everything broken.
Everything, all the things are broken now.
So what do you do? Where do you go?
I'm dead already.
What's your plan? You can't get on a plane because all the airports have fallen into the earth with the earthquake.
Has my car fallen into the earth with earthquake, to quote you?
You wouldn't be able to drive. Like it would. I mean, even with your four-wheel drive, it's still the terrain would be too impossible terrain.
How far has the Australian political landscape devolved? Is it complete? Like, is it we are now the
Well, we have no
Max?
information infrastructure anymore, so we can't. We have no idea.
First thing I do
Blame Abbott.
is I create my own sovereign state. Blame Abbott. Fucking blame. Yeah, blame Abbott and then create my own sovereign state.
Cool.
how do you make
Topic
a
done.
flag?
Cool. That was 10 minutes. We cut off Maddie exactly on the second, so I see no reason not to do that for Dylan's topic.
Yes.
Tias, what was your topic?
Yeah, what was your topic today, Tias?
I actually, look.
A ham sandwich.
What would happen if...
No.
I got one for you. If Australia got nuked. I'm like, total breakdown of the infrastructure.
I
So
reckon.
we-
Maddie, what do you reckon?
I'd die of radiation poisoning.
Yeah,
I'm going
probably
with
die.
dying of radiation poisoning.
Probably
for
be
number
dead.
one.
I would mutate.
If I wasn't dead or dying,
Yeah.
I'd probably just find a really big like bin, like the metal big bins.
And Oscar the
Cook a
Grouch,
really big
that shit.
stew.
No, just like a lot of fire. A house gets real cold.
I reckon that we could, I reckon that like I could make it in a post-apocalyptic setting. I know we always
I know
have
how to
these.
garden.
Plus, your house couldn't get more destroyed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
our house
exactly.
is pretty fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty good at surviving,
Yeah.
so I reckon I'd be all right. I
And
mean,
I've got a
You
good way
died
of-
4 times last night.
It was a
All
big
you would-
night.
It wasn't even that big.
I reckon that the first thing I would do is go to like the supermarket and just fucking raid.
Well, that's the reason why I think we do well is because I have a supernatural almost ability to like muster people into doing things. Right?
You wouldn't
you
speak
have a
that
natural
you-
leadership.
like if we're at home, that'd fail because barely anyone on our street speaks English.
I know that's why we wouldn't do it there.
Okay.
I just muster all of the people I know.
How?
Just get in contact with them.
How?
Footwork.
Okay.
It'd take forever.
Yeah,
No,
well,
man.
maybe it would.
It doesn't take
Still.
that. It does not take that long to walk to the city. I have done it before from our house. It
I don't
takes
want
about
to
4
waddle all
hours.
the way to
You
the
don't got
city.
to. I go there. I get everyone. You waddle here, right? Or we just use some of the petrol.
Have you seen that show where the power goes out with the chick and the guy and the uncle and the dead?
I have a feeling I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember it. Revolution.
I have not.
No.
No,
Yeah.
now I know.
Okay, well, it's a reasonably good show. But the thing that bugs me about it is power goes out, society devolves, everyone starts killing everyone, and I'm like, that's not the way it would work.
No.
People are generally good. Everyone's going to help each other out. I reckon, I hands down think that the way it would go is people would get together and form communities. They would help each other out. That they would punish the people who end up killing people and being dicks.
Like you'd end up with mob justice that goes too far, not
No justice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
do anything.
not. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, we wouldn't go from this to anomia immediately.
Where's it
No,
now?
it'd happen.
Anomia
slowly.
is
Is
the
that
term.
where the gnomes live?
No, it's
I refuse
No, just
their
one
sovereignty.
gnome. Anomia.
it's the English word for a state of lawlessness.
I thought it was the Latin word.
No, it comes from the Greek word nomos,
But-
a nomos without law.
But I thought we were doing laws with Latin now. I'm confused. See, this is exactly the problem I have.
We have an
Maybe we should
we
use
have a
Spanish.
Greek we have a Greek word
God, it's not
about
Excelsior.
laws. Point is, I don't think we would go from this to fuck it. I'm going to go slaughter everyone.
Oh yeah,
immediately.
nobody's going to
No.
just turn around and start killing people. Although,
No.
I reckon it'd be one of those things where nobody would do it until one person just goes, you know what? Maybe I will. And then everything turns to shit super
It would
quick.
turn to shit super quick because everyone would be like, "Whoa, Ted's a murderer," and then they just like
Well, they'd murder
stampede into
him.
his house, murder the shit out of him,
And then they're all
everyone's like,
murderers.
"Well, hang on, was that maybe the best thing to do?" And they're like, "Hey, fuck you, man.
We had to do
Ted
what
was
we
a
had to
fucking
do.
murderer. He killed Cherie. I fucking loved her.
I,
That's my wife you're talking about."
Ted
And
or Cherie?
Cherie.
This is so complicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Tias has been talking for a long time.
He
on
has
this
been.
pod, so I'd like to take a second to let Tias rant about something else that happened to him today.
Okay. So we went to this restaurant,
What was it called? Because they should know about their bad
Mamacitas.
mamacita.
Mamacita's in
Call on the
The city.
street. Collins
Melbourne.
Street, Melbourne.
Ah, yes.
Now-
Okay, I know it.
So we showed up, and we ordered corn to begin with. Bit pricey. I mean, it was around $6 a person, and it was not a big
What is that
serve.
flashing? What does that mean?
Check it. Get up.
It says 25:11 or something. Hi, Tom.
25:37.
Wait,
I think
say
we're
that, say
running out
that,
of time.
say that.
I think we're running out of time.
Hi.
I sat on my wine sack.
Oh, nice fucking goon bag.
Okay.
Here, eh? What did you just get
So-
to do?
You
Yeah.
had a terrible experience. I
Yeah,
heard.
so we ordered corn, and it was a bit pricey, but it was quite good. And I mean, the serving sizes were a bit on the small side. But if there's one thing I hear a lot is people say, "Well, look, it was really high quality food. You've got to be willing to pay a little extra for it."
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And the corn was really good.
Yeah, and then we ordered a platter to share, which
Called a tostadita.
which turned out to be $25 between 3 people. And what it turned out to be was 6 laden corn chips.
Laden with pulled with
Now,
like stewed beef.
I really want to stress here, it's not 6 heavily laden corn chips. It's just 6 corn chips.
and they were tiny too.
Yeah.
They were like round. They were like this big.
yeah,
Uh,
and just
round
basically
corn chips are the worst.
yeah, and we had them, and we were basically paying $4.12 per corn chip.
Most expensive corn chips.
Yeah, it was, with and sure they're laden with toppings. They're not toppings, but they're not heavily laden.
No.
And I rapidly realized that we just paid $25 for a share platter that was really, arguably, not an appetizer for one person. Like, to have paid $8 for the whole thing, I would have been like, hang on, that's a bit expensive. And people would have said, no, Tiers, you've got to be willing to pay for quality. But this was not quality. This was
Yeah,
not especially good food.
Like
this
a
was not
gourmet-
average
just you
food.
that-
If you went to a
Yeah,
gourmet
yeah.
restaurant,
Yeah.
I was there as well. If you went to a gourmet restaurant, you might expect a really small serving size.
Yeah, but you went to
expect
Mamacita.
this explosion of flavor and what we had was flavorless beef on a corn chip, flavorless beef on 6 corn chips for $25.
Flavorless beef. Name of Dylan's sex tape. And it was
Flavors beef is my.
it was not enough for
folk
3
metal
people
band.
to as a share platter, and we paid $25 for it. And
Yeah.
then came the tacos.
Tacos.
Which-
it wasn't soft shell, it wasn't hard shell.
It was just-
a combination between the two.
It was
Was it
just
just like an off shell?
it was
like it's hard shell, but it's been
Yeah, it
out
was
too
just
long.
stale.
no
just
no
a
it
stale
was
tortilla.
I would say it was closer to being a soft shell that was just a bit stale.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the beef was flavorless, and
Completely.
you're paying, and that's the other thing. We paid $1.10 extra for cheese, but you know when you get shredded cheese, how each shred is about this big. Probably 4 or 5 of those per
Shredded
taco.
cheese, 4 or 5
Four
shredded
shreds
cheese.
of cheese. Yeah, I mean like 4 or 5 cheese
So they
shreds
really
for
should have
$1.
called it flavorless beef taco. Flavorless beef stale tortilla taco with 4 strands of cheese.
Yeah.
What
I don't know.
did they call it?
I feel like a strand implies it is much longer than the shreds we got.
Point of the matter is, Mamacita, step up your game. You can't just hang on how good your corn is.
Yeah, because we've been to a lot of restaurants in Melbourne, and that was the most disappointing experience we've had in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So, how about disappointing restaurant experiences?
Oh god, I've had so many. Do you want the?
Oh, wait, sorry, there's one final detail.
Oh.
The fact that we ended up spending $90 between 3 people and left hungry.
Yeah, that was fucked. In the face.
Like, we didn't get any... we got the corn, but on the whole, like, everything
Corn
after...
on the whole.
Everything after that was just thoroughly disappointing, and we left hungry and poor.
That's shit.
So,
Yeah.
it's your turn.
So next time I'm going to
Wait,
McDonald's.
wait,
Yeah,
haven't we?
yeah. We've got quite a few. Do you want which side of the kitchen do you want this? Like which
Oh,
side?
you gotta be a diner.
I'm
You
gonna be
are
a diner?
Yes.
That is a
Oh,
dining
all right.
experience.
Okay.
You want to talk about being a chef? Start your own vlog.
I will, motherfucker. It'll be the best vlog. with
It'll be on this
backtracks
channel.
and hookers.
And
In fact, forget the vlog.
we'll put a link in the description.
to blackjackandhookers.com.
guys, we know full well it's going on this channel anyway.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we've had some pretty
had
terrible
some
places. I'm trying to
bad
think of
ones.
some in particular.
Camberwell.
Oh, zombie kitchen.
Oh goodness!
You ate
Oh.
zombies.
We did.
Actually,
that
you know
was actually
what?
kind of okay.
There was one experience we had.
Better than
which I'm
Mamacita's.
quite pleased by, and I'm surprised you didn't do something similar. Where we went to a place in the city, and they do this Irish pub, and I saw everyone with these stews, these big pot stews, and I'm like, I want some of that. What could that be on the menu? Looked at the menu, and I'm like, oh, Irish stew. Of course, that's going to be it. It had a red wine jus in it, and this looked like it had a red wine jus in it. Let's go for that. They bring it out, and it's this soupy, crappy piece of rubbish. Watery thing. Maddie comes out with hers. She ordered like a little
Pie.
a pot pie. Comes out, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I'm like looking at my dish, looking at her dish, looking at my dish, and I'm like, we need to say that mine isn't what I want, what I asked for. And they're like, well, it is what you asked for. And I'm like, but I wanted that.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not. Is it though?
It's not. Is it? Like Carl Plinkton moment, classically. And then they changed it. They did.
Yeah, they did
no
change
cost to it.
Yeah.
It was the same price both meals, and they went, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
No cost to it. Yeah.
We gave them a
I
tip.
wouldn't have changed it prior to eating at Mamacita, like, because I'm like, this could be gourmet, could be amazing.
Like,
Surely
yeah.
you took a bite and you're like, no.
Well, like,
What-
You should have just
wait.
walked away.
We also
Yeah.
didn't know that this was going to be $25. Like, it was
Yeah.
$16 for 4 on the menu, and we didn't realize that they were going to up it to $25 for 6.
Yeah. So,
That's shit. But probably the most disappointing is we went to Tom and I went to a little restaurant in Camberwell. The name of it I can't remember for the life of me. But you know, there was bustling with people. Like there was quite a few people in there. It
not
smelled.
Sophia's, is it?
No.
Our garbage hole was also bustling with people, and like in retrospect, what the fuck was a single one of those customers doing there?
Yeah.
All right, let me
But,
finish the story, damn it.
But yeah, like it looked like it was really good. It's like the smell you could smell from the street. It smelled really nice.
Yeah.
So we went in there and we're like, okay, it's a little expensive, but we should be fine.
The meal looked great.
Yeah, and they brought out the meals. Tom got a burger and I got a chicken schnitzel, and they looked fantastic. They looked great. And then there was no flavor to them whatsoever. Like. At all, like it looked like it'd be like delicious, and then you cut
that
into
was the
it
worst part. Is it looked amazing.
And obviously
Yeah.
smelled amazing.
It smelled
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Tasted
like cardboard.
Yeah.
There was no flavor to anything. Like the
Jinx.
sauces, on
Loves.
it were
Don't
were
you start.
completely bland. I had cheese on my Parma, and it was like it tasted like, you know how you get plastic cheese, like the
Oh,
plastic
yeah,
wrap cheese.
yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
tasted like. And then my
How do you
salad.
fuck up a Parma?
Yeah,
Step up your game,
No,
Ken.
hang
Well,
on.
Yeah, but,
we need to talk about your theory on Parmas after this.
yeah. But it also came with like a side salad, which, you know, you make a salad, you put a little bit of dressing in. No. Apparently, to these guys, how you make salad is you have a bowl of dressing and you dip each like piece of lettuce in there, and not really a dressing, just red wine vinegar. That's all it was. And you know, at the end of the night, the waiters, you know, they ask, you know, how was everything, and I'm like, well, actually, it was shit.
Really bad.
I actually told them, I'm like, if you want this to be any form of good, do this to it. I am a chef. I know how this sort of stuff works. Please, like, at least salt your chips.
Yeah,
At least
yeah.
salt
The chips
your
were
chips.
not salted. No salt on the table.
Yeah.
How do you fuck up chips? Step up your game, Camberwell.
Fucking Camberwell.
Yeah.
Not like Sophia's. Sophia's was amazing.
Yeah,
And
Sophia's
it's
was actually
fucking
good.
huge.
Yeah. With that, we're
You
like
order a small, like,
4 years later, you're like,
seafood platter or something,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right, well, this is dinner for tonight. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I could probably fit Friday in as well.
yeah. Actually,
Can I have
Sophia's
5 takeaway containers, please?
Sophia's schnitzel output is greater than all of Cupcakistan's GDP, national GDP. It's quite obscene, actually. And cupcakes aren't cheap.
So my theory on Parma is that Parma has a chicken parmesan for all you Americans. It has a
Chicken
very
isn't vegan.
specific, like, flavor range. So you can, like, here at the lower end, you've got basically bad quality you wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
And I think that the bottom section and the top section, when it comes to Parma, just don't exist. You can't have a really awful Parma, and you can't have a really amazing Parma.
Yeah.
It's always
It's an
either
average.
good to great.
Yeah.
And that I've been disproved once, and that was at the Can River Hotel, which is a country pub, and that was a great Parma. But
I've had terrible
and
parmas.
I had
I've
one
only had
terrible
one
parma in Bairnsdale,
Yeah.
and I complained
Yeah.
about it, and I like, you know when you complain about something and you're really specific about what it was. I'm like, the chicken tastes like it was frozen for 2 weeks. The cheese tastes like you got it out of a home brand shredded cheese bag from Coles. The sauce tasted like red water. You know,
Well, that's because you were the fourth customer they'd had there that year. It's Bairnsdale. All 4 people that live there hadn't visited there yet.
So my theory generally tends to pan out.
It was
There's
3 visitors and then
acceptable
Dylan.
standard deviation between, but it's generally
Yeah, Parmas,
good to integrate.
Parmas are extraordinarily easy. Like I worked at a restaurant for a time. We made our own Parmas, and like you can batter and like crumb them like a couple days in advance, and they're fine. And the main thing is make sure you put a little bit of spices into your crumbing, and then pretty much like anything you put on it will be enhanced. Like
It's crazy how there's no
Enhanced.
variation. Like people do some crazy shit with burgers and fries and like sandwiches, but Parma is one of those things that
It's
remains
best left
untouched.
untouched,
And see, I think it would be better if you could customize your Parma. If you had
have you ever been to Miss Palmer's in the city?
No.
They do like a bazillion different types of Parmas.
You want
Turf Bar?
crumbed meat with
Yeah.
stuff and cheese on top?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think
Turf Bar as well.
beyond crumbing, you should be able to choose your own batter. You should be able to like
No,
with
no.
fried chicken, you can get all sorts of different
Like,
types of
say
fried
like a
chicken.
tempura or like a... What do they call the Japanese stuff?
Panko.
Panko batter or...
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'd limit that. Like, do you mean like per restaurant?
see, this might be your opinion, but my opinion is that
As someone who doesn't
I
have to
would
cook
like
it.
I would like to be able to try a basically KFC style chicken parma, like with that original recipe kind of.
Oh, man. Okay,
That would
no.
be good.
So, they've got a new boneless chicken there,
Yeah.
which is really amazing. It's like...
Spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you had that with cheese and ham and tomato sauce, Napoli sauce...
And they never vary the sauce, and they never vary the cheese. It's always the same goddamn thing. Thanks for listening to us jabber mindlessly.
Oh, speaking of
We're,
last
out of
contribution,
time.
you can replace the Napoli sauce with salsa for an interesting twist that I really like.
Yum.
Yeah, actually, I have had
And
a
chorizo.
parma.
Swap the ham for chorizo.
That was a Mexican parma that had the guacamole underneath the cheese layer, which was quite great.
Can you read that message I tried to text you, but apparently you didn't?
Can our catchphrase be "enhance your pants," as said by Maddie? Thanks for watching, Mindless Jabba. Remember to enhance your pants.
No, she has to say it.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, thank you for watching Mindless Jabba.
Pants.
Enhance your pants.